Merry Christmas!
Welcome back to Tip TV Finance, where it's CEO interview time, and the man in the chair is Michael Masterman, who is CEO at W Resources. Let's get it right. The epic code WRES, for those who are interested. Right, Michael, a year of first for your company, 2016. It's been sort of not quite so good for some people, but for W Resources, a good one. Maybe you can run through the achievements of the year to date.
Okay, so 16 has been great. We had our first blast at the mine in July. We had first production in September, first shipment in October. We've got the plant up and running. We've also had recently some very good results from our gold drilling in Portugal. I think we're going to have some very good results from our copper assets in Portugal as well. So we're making a lot of progress on all fronts.
Right, I mean, mining companies, they're famous for jam tomorrow type stories, and you know, we're waiting for things. You seem to have delivered on lots of key points that, you know, normally private investors or other investors would just say, yeah, that's it, now we're off to go. Why do you think there's been a reticence in the market? You know, it's been a great year for mining companies as a whole. I mean, you know, Glencore's of this world have doubled and tripled, and you've had all that going on. What's the situation? How would you explain where W Resources is in terms of market sentiment?
Well, look, we're up from about 30 to about 50, so that's pretty good growth. But as you've mentioned previously, you know, we should be shooting through the 100 mark. Fundamentals are good. Nearly everything we've done has paid off very, very strongly. So, and yeah, listen, 2017 we're going to have a plant with the capacity and the cost structure to generate substantial earnings. So, and that's a fairly short period away. I think probably, you know, iron ore has run extremely strongly. Tin, which is one of our products, has run extremely strongly, but we've only recently seen the big takeoff in the copper price. And tungsten's yet to have that real surge that a number of the other commodities have had. So perhaps the missing ingredient is that final kick in the...
So it's like a trickle down around the different metals is yet to take hold.
Well, look, I think if you think about tungsten, which is our primary commodity in addition to the copper and the gold, it hasn't yet had the run that some of the major commodities have had that have driven the Glencores and Anglos. I think it certainly will. I mean, steel consumption in China is record prices, record production. At the end of the day, tungsten's all about used in iron ore mining, used in mining globally, which is recovering very strongly, used in steel, used in cars, used in aeroplanes. Anything where you think about this surge in industrial production, which we're certainly seeing in China, but also I think we're going to see more and more in the United States under Trump. You've got the base for substantial tightening of the global tungsten market, and that's going to lead to quite substantial increases in price. We can make money at current prices, but I think perhaps that sudden trigger of commodity price impact hasn't quite hit and translated into our share price.
Well, then the other thing is, I mean, to ask the question a bit of a different way. I mean, you've been around the block. You know, you've founded and seen through, I believe, a £1 billion or $1 billion company in Australia. You've done it all before. So, you know, the vagaries of where the share price is here or there, it doesn't really matter in the bigger picture, does it?
No, look. We're going to build a company that's going to have some of the largest global production assets in the world. They're going to have very low cost structures, and at the end of the day, that's going to translate into very good earnings and cash flow for our shareholders. So that's our primary objective, and we need to execute that well. I think 2017 is going to be an exceptional year for us as well, and we're looking forward to it.
So you're actually producing at the moment, so presumably you're getting income on that, or you will get income on that very soon. I mean, the only other explanation for why the share price isn't double and triple and whatever it is at the moment is the market's concerned about how you're going to fund what you're doing. But you are actually producing, so shouldn't those fears be allayed?
Yeah, look, they certainly should be, and you know, we've said to the shareholders, we've said to the market that our key strategy is to use the the still fairly soft market for mining equipment, mining plant to lease finance large parts of our plant facilities. And that strategy is proceeding well. That means less capital from the company, more capital from the suppliers, and I think shareholders will see some very substantial gains there that'll give them great confidence that we're very efficiently financing the project.
Right, so 2016, the year of big first. What's the main trigger? What will be the main sort of box to tick for 2017, and what should shareholders and potential shareholders look out for?
Okay, so look, the primary objective, the thing that will just give us fundamentally larger production capacity and cash flow, is getting to 2,500 tonnes per annum of installed tungsten capacity. At that point in time, we've got a very, very low cost structure, we've got very large cash generation, and that's the point in time where I think the company becomes truly self-sustaining in terms of its overall financial performance.
Right. And
so delivering on that, contract for the crusher financed, contract for the jig and the mill financed, contract for the concentrator financed. All of that will add up very quickly together to real progress in terms of substantially enlarged capacity on the ground and cash flows thereafter.
And as I was going to say, you've been through this cycle before, so you know that that's the trigger point really to change a company from being a minnow into being a serious play.
Yeah, no, I've seen it before, and it's at this point where just some patience, perseverance, and look, and a very good team makes a huge difference in terms of delivery.
Michael Masterman, CEO at W Resources, thank you very much for coming in today.
Zach, pleasure.
Merry Christmas!